Hey, welcome everybody. My name is Mark Dannenberg, and I appreciate that you've chosen to spend a little bit of your time with me today. I've got something that I think may make a difference with your trading. If you're an active trader, this is something I think you want to pay attention to. I'm speaking to you today on behalf of both Options Moneymaker and New Cycle Trading and Analytics, and you'll understand a little bit more about that in just a few moments. We're going to talk about how to create a personal trading business plan. So let's just start, first of all, with kind of a high level understanding of what trading can be about. Trading options, stocks, and futures is an activity that has grown significantly in the past few years, and particularly in the last year. According to the Options Clearing Corporation, just in the past year, we've seen an increase of 45% in options trading volume. So we're seeing about 28 million options contracts that are changing hands on an average day. Now that's as of end of June of this year, but that's a 45% increase over last year. That's huge. Now, if you're a futures trader, according to the Futures Industry Association, there are about 6.42 billion contracts traded in the first quarter of 2020. Now that's up 45.8% from the same quarter in 2019. So you see that both options volume and futures trading volume has increased significantly. And in particular, equity index futures and options had the greatest growth of any other segment, trading more than 4.5 billion contracts in the first quarter of this year. So the opportunity for an options trader or a futures trader is huge right now. And both new and experienced traders, people who may want to participate in trading, have never done so before. And people who have a level of experience but are looking to maybe step up their trading to a new performance level, there's a huge opportunity to participate, no matter what level of experience you have. Now, one of the problems that I see in working with traders is that too many people jump into trading with absolutely no knowledge. We've actually seen some news stories about that in the recent months, about people who didn't really understand what they were doing and didn't understand what they were trading and didn't understand the implications of the choices that they were making. They have little or no data, and especially what we've seen, what I refer to as the Wild West of trading, chat forums, where people are just relying on some unknown individual in a chat forum to go establish a position, frequently an options position, or very, very low priced stocks. So my belief is it is imperative that you have the right tools, that you have the right education, you have the right services, and in particular, you have the right mindset in order to be able to participate successfully. So we start by viewing all trading activity as a business. And with that mindset, we create a personal trading business plan. It's kind of funny as I speak to traders who may have kind of viewed their trading more as a replacement for going to Atlantic City or going to Vegas. It's kind of a gambling activity. It's a betting activity for them. That whole mindset drives activity that is inconsistent. But when you start treating it mentally as a business, people understand the activity of a business is to make money. It's to have a plan for what you're going to do, whether it be on an everyday basis, a weekly basis, or a monthly basis. And so we start our trading education with all of our trading community by preaching literally that it is a trading business, and we want that to be the mindset. So here at Options Moneymaker and New Cycle Trading and Analytics, we've collaborated in order to develop the tools we believe that are going to allow each trader to build a profitable trading business. We believe that these tools are the key success factors to building a profitable trading business, and to do it very simply. So there are four primary success factors that I believe are important if you're going to start out building a trading business. Now, there's other things that can come into play, but these are kind of at a high level. If you check the box on each of these, then you have a fighting chance. You actually have a chance to be successful with this as a trading business. Number one is market metrics. You need technical indicators. My belief is technical indicators are the most critical way for you to decide when to enter a position and when to exit a position. This is true whether you're a stock investor, you're an options trader, or you're a futures trader. It's a common denominator across any method of trading that you choose. Education on what and how to trade, whatever you choose. Now, we teach education curriculums on both options education and futures education, but whatever you decide is right for your trading business, it is critically important that you have some level of knowledge and education in order to do it successfully, and it's not a kind of a wing and a prayer. Frequently I correlate trading with flying. So if you decided that you wanted to learn how to fly, uh, most people, most reasonably intelligent people would never go out to an airport after spending the weekend reading a book about flying and then expect to get into the seat of an airplane and take off and land successfully. It requires knowledge, it requires experience, it requires practice, it requires someone supporting you in that learning. So that's my correlation to futures and options trading education. The third key success factor in building a profitable trading business is financial planning and forecasting. It is rare through all the 40 years that I've been trading that I have ever met somebody who will speak about what their 12-month forecast is or what their quarterly forecast is in terms of their desired profits and how they're going to build their business to achieve that level of income that they desire. So you're going to see here in just a few minutes, I'm going to share with you a tool that we created for our trading community, which will allow you to forecast 52 weeks of income. Now you can do it longer than that, but it's built based on 52 weeks of scaling up the size of your trades, accelerating your growth, compounding your returns based on the recycling of capital. And at any given point in time through any trading day, you can have a reasonable projection of what your 12-month income could be. And then the last thing is real-time support for ongoing learning and support during your trading day. And I'm going to go back to the learning to fly analogy. When I was taking flying lessons, there was no way when I was learning that I would have gone up in a plane without my flight instructor sitting in the seat next to me. That was the real-time support I needed. I was starting to understand what I was doing, but until I'd reached a certain level of proficiency that was agreed on between myself and the flight instructor, there was absolutely no way I was going to proceed on my own. So we have ways to provide real-time support for your learning and support your trading throughout every day. All right, so just a little more detail, and I'm going to show you some examples of some things here as we get into this. The adaptive entry system is the market metrics tool that we use. It was created by New Cycle Trading and Analytics. Options Moneymaker, my team at Options Moneymaker collaborated with the team at New Cycle Trading and Analytics, and we created the adaptive entry system. It is the newest generation of market analytics that have been released, and you can go to newcycletrading.com and you can learn more about it. But it uses a very simple, I would say ultra simple systems approach to tracking price movement. And it allows traders to follow the natural sequence of price cycles. So no matter what time frame you're trading, there are always going to be movements within that time frame. If you're trading a short-term chart, say a 5-minute chart, which we do frequently throughout the day, there are going to be movements, even though the overall trend might be to the downside, there are going to be counter trend moves to the upside. And the adaptive entry system empowers traders to recognize those movements, what we identify as the natural sequence of the price cycles. And there are 4 distinct entry signals within the adaptive entry system, which follow the trend, the retracement, and the continuation of price patterns. I'm going to show you the chart here in just a moment, once I give you a quick overview. Those 4 entry signals follow the price trend, as I mentioned. So first of all, the main signal, which is called the trend bias signal, is the primary trend. It helps us recognize when we are actually in the beginning stages of a new upward bias or downward bias trend. And one thing I want to say is, whether you're a futures trader or an options trader or even stock investors, the adaptive entry system is your core foundation decision-making tool. It helps you know when to open and close positions, and it doesn't matter what method you're using, options, futures, or just trading stocks. So the second signal is what's called a momentum signal, and it's frequently a retracement within the primary trend. It is frequently presented to us as a counter trend signal, but it's one of those retracement indicators. So if you're familiar, for example, with wave patterns and Fibonacci retracements, think of momentum as being a retracement within a bigger pattern. Consensus signals is a signal that comes on that's an alignment of multiple directional indicators, and then a continuation signal, which indicates a continuation, resumption of the primary trend. So these signals can be used, as I mentioned, to enter options trades, futures trades, or stock trades, and they're adaptable to any time frame. We have people in our community who like to use these signals on 1-minute charts to trade actively throughout the day on futures. We have people who will follow the daily chart on stocks, and they're interested in taking options trades or maybe trading the stock directly. So it's a very adaptable system to any time frame and to any method. All right, so let me show you what this software tool looks like here. Okay, so this is what you see right here, the adaptive entry system. And when we collaborated with New Cycle Trading, we had a very, very specific goal in mind, and that was to make this as simple as possible and to, in the context of the software behind the scenes, translate any complexities into a very simple signal. There was no need for us to present 5 different indicators and you align these and this is the way you trade. A lot of people start their trading career just simply learning how to read and interpret indicators and figuring out which technical indicators are the right ones to use and which ones correlate to other technical indicators. Well, I'm proud to say that we've done all of that work over the years on behalf of traders. And what it's resulted in is this system, the adaptive entry system, that very simply presents the signals in a single signal format. So anywhere that you see a vertical red or green bar, those are simply indications to go short on a red bar or long on a green bar. So if you're an options trader and you see a signal to go long, whether you're looking at a 5-minute chart, a 30-minute chart, a 10-minute chart, you would buy to open a call or some other strategy that would take advantage of an upward bias movement. On a red signal, a red vertical bar, you would buy to open a put, or if you're a futures trader, you would just go short and you're going to take advantage of some downward bias movement. Now, sometimes the signals last for a short period of time, and other times you have a signal that comes on, such as this trend bias signal right here. You can see the T right there, we label it, and then it runs for an extended period of time, like we've seen today. And within that long running trend, you have other opportunities to get back into the trade if you've already taken a profit. So here's a counter trend momentum signal that gave us an opportunity to lock in a profit. Here's then a resumption of the trend. It's a continuation signal, which is labeled as a T plus. Here's another trade, which is a consensus signal, which tells you to go long, locking in profits on each of those. Another continuation, another momentum, which is a reversal signal, a retracement signal, and so on and so forth. So it's presented very, very simply in a format where all you are really doing is looking for vertical green and vertical red bars. Okay, so what I'm showing you first of all here is an example of trading the Nasdaq 100 futures on a 5-minute chart. This is what we profile throughout every trading day in our live trading room. And we have a whole community of traders that are trading right along with us. Now, all these other indicators, the lower indicators, once you learn the adaptive entry system, you'll start to understand how they are giving you a leading indication of what might be coming, but still, we're not going to take a trade until we see the vertical green or vertical red bar. The label itself is just telling you which method the adaptive entry system is interpreting from all of the indicators that are aligned. So you can understand that, and you may choose to only trade some and not all of the signals. Now let me jump over to a stock chart, for example. What I'm showing here is Google. Google is one of the stocks in a short watch list of stocks that we talk about every day in our live trading room. And I typically, when I'm looking at stocks and I'm looking at options on stocks, I'm typically looking at 10-minute, 30-minute, and daily charts. And I'll have maybe all three of them open just so I can kind of see where the signals are. Now, one of the things that you're going to see here is that there's a common denominator between what I just showed you on the futures charts, and that is that you get the same green and red signals. And these are telling you on these stocks that there's an opportunity for a long position, which would be a call, or a short position, which would be a put, or if you are long in a call and the short signal comes on, you might want to close that call and lock in your profit or limit the loss. There are going to be losing trades, there are going to be winning trades, and I'm going to go through here in just a few minutes some averages with you that we have learned from this adaptive entry system. So one of the strongest signals that the adaptive entry system presents is the trend bias signal. That's the T. And it's really easy to spot here. I'm going to actually open up this. Trend bias signal is really easy to spot. Trend bias is very simply the second similar colored bar in a new bar sequence. So here we had a white bar and the next bar closed blue. And so this is a trend bias entry. And there was a small amount of profit from that. We have some data which shows where we ought to be locking in profits. That wasn't a huge profit, but it did offer a profit, and then we take the next signal. And the next signal was a consensus signal to go long here. And it also happened to be a trend bias. It's labeled with a C, but I also can look back and see that it's the second blue bar in a sequence. Now, I go long on this signal, and I'm able to then get out of the trade either at a predetermined profit target, or I'm out of the trade for a profit when I see a short signal come on. So it works on stocks, it works on options. Let me just take a look at Amazon here, and let's take a look at like today on Amazon. 10:10 this morning, this is Eastern time. Amazon showed a signal to go long. It was the second blue bar in a sequence, and it's labeled with a T, and it's on a green vertical bar. So we'd go long on Amazon, we'd buy to open a call. That bar opened at 3,170.97, so I'm just going to round up to 71. It traded up to a high of 32.12. That's a really nice move right there. So if you in at 31.71 and it trades up to 32.12, you've got a 41 point move. If you're trading a 50 delta, that's a 20 point profit right there on per contract on trading an Amazon option, and that's off of a 10-minute chart. You can back up here and you can see that there was a short entry here on Amazon that came on at 210 yesterday, and you would have closed that when this long momentum signal came on, and you're in that at 31.60, and you're out of it at 31.36, so there's 24 points of profit. If you're trading a 50 delta, there's 12 points of profit yesterday afternoon and another 20 points of profit this morning, and that's per contract. So this is the way the adaptive entry system works, and you can trade options, as I said. 10-minute, 30-minute, and daily charts are the most highly recommended on trading options, and then you can trade futures, and you can trade 5-minute charts. That's our preferred time frame. And as I mentioned, we have people in our live trading room that will also trade 1-minute charts, and you can see the frequency of which those signals come on 1-minute charts. Bottom line here is it's adaptable to any time frame. It's adaptable to any method of trading, and that's what makes it a very powerful system. Okay, education was one of the keys that I talked about. We at Options Moneymaker, we have a Profit Builder Plus program. It's what the name of it is. It's a comprehensive options education program. It starts with the most basic understanding of what options are, what the trading rules and guidelines are, a basic level of charting and technical indicators, not the adaptive entry system, but just getting a very basic understanding of what technical charting is all about, what technical indicators are dominant. And we teach credit spreads, iron condors, debit spreads, strangles, straddles, long options. We teach position management. We also teach capital commitment and risk management. So if options trading is something you're interested in, just make sure you have a good program. It doesn't have to be ours, but just make sure that you don't jump in with your eyes shut and not really understand what you're getting into. Futures trading education is where we've had a lot of members in our community move to because it's just such an exciting market. And the futures market is a $12.7 trillion market. Futures education program has been designed specifically to take what we consider often as confusing and intimidating topic and simplify it into a comprehensive approach to profitably trading futures. So we teach technical charting, entry and exit patterns using the adaptive entry system. We talk about capital management and risk limitation rules because one of the perceptions of futures trading is it's so risky. A lot of people won't touch it because they don't understand the risk limitation rules, and that's how you basically limit your risk. And then we teach how to automate your trade entry and set a risk exit as well as placing a profit exit all with one single click. So those are the education features we have available. But this is really what I want to talk with you about, the personal trading business plan. Financial planning and forecasting for your personal trading business, something the vast majority of traders never even give a thought to. We want to show you how to track your actual performance on your trading every single day, plan your capital commitments as well as your risk limits, and see a forecast for a 12-month period every day and see what your potential income is over the course of a 12-month period. Then make adjustments as necessary so that you can achieve your desired income level. You're going to build your own personal trading plan. You're going to start with a certain amount of capital, risk commitment. You're going to plan your profit production, which is what we refer to as taking profits, and you're scaling. This is also a tool that will help limit overtrading, and you're going to know the question, you're going to know the answer to the question, when is enough enough? Because a lot of people will trade. A lot of people will just continue trading all day with no end in sight, no idea of where they fit into prior performance versus future planned performance, and an overall desired income. So let me give you an overview of this. So this is our personal trading plan that we have created, and we make available to our community of traders. This is actually a live trading plan, and it's one that I update at the end of every trading day. I do a recording, and I'm going to show you where you can find access to those recordings if you're interested in going back and reviewing. But I do a recording to show what the performance was that day. We have winning days and we have losing days. And the losing days tend to be this emotional weight for a lot of traders. Winning days tend to be this euphoric feeling, they're on a high for the day. And so those traders who have no plan go through this emotional roller coaster of highs and lows. And it really, I don't believe, is healthy, as well as it's just not a fun way to live and run a business. So everything that is highlighted in blue are days that we've already finished. Those are the days behind us. We've actually, on this personal trading plan that we've been profiling in our live trading room, we have 12.4 weeks behind us. That's through yesterday. And what it's telling us is a couple of key things. We have winning days and we have losing days. We have had 14 losing days in the past 12.4 weeks. So 12 and a half weeks, we've had 14 losing days. So slightly ahead of 1 day per week is a losing day. The plan calculates for us, well, what is our average winning day? So let me back up here just a minute. What I'm sharing with you is performance results from the Nasdaq 100 futures. That's what we profile in our live trading room. We're trading 5-minute charts on the Nasdaq 100 futures, and we're taking the signals off of the adaptive entry system. We are trading these signals live in our trading room every day. We have a team of traders, myself and 2 other members of my team are hosting the live trading room, and we are trading these signals live, and we are discussing the signals in real time throughout the trading day from 8:45 a.m. Eastern to 4 p.m. Eastern, so that our community of traders can learn and trade right along with us. Okay, so I wanted to level set that these results are based on Nasdaq 100 futures. We're using this as an example, but there's a feature here in the trading plan where if you're only an options trader, you can use the options tab to keep track of your trades and still do a 52-week, 12-month forecast of income for yourself. So based on Nasdaq 100 futures, let me just show you where we are. We've got 12.4 weeks behind us. We've had 14 losing days. This right here, this 33.97, is the actual average of all of our winning days. That's the average point value of all of our winning days. And every point in the Nasdaq 100 futures is $20 per contract. So if you're trading one contract of the Nasdaq 100 futures, $20 per point per contract. Okay, so 1 point is $20, 10 points is $200 per contract. So we're averaging 33.97 points per day, just under 34 points per day on the Nasdaq 100 futures. And on our losing days, we're averaging 27.32 points. All right. Now, how do we take those numbers and extrapolate from that a 12-month, 52-week income? We make sure that our future forecast, anything beyond today, anything beyond what we've already recorded. See, you can see we're recorded here up through yesterday. We're not recorded today because today's not over with yet. We don't know what our performance is going to be today, whether it's going to be a winning day or a losing day. But what we do is we insert the actual run rate performance into these 2 fields, and these 2 fields will determine what our future forecast is. okay? So if we align our future forecast for the remaining balance of a 52-week period to the actual run rate that we achieved in the first 12 and a half weeks, then it means that we have a realistic forecast of what we could actually achieve. That's not a guarantee. It's just saying that, okay, in 12 and a half weeks, I'm averaging just under 34 points of winning days, and I'm averaging just over 27 points on my losing days. And I know that my losing days are 14 days per 12 and a half weeks. If I just replicated that going forward for the balance of my 52 weeks, then I can pretty reasonably anticipate what my income could be. All right, so let me show you what that would be. We start with $5,000 in the account. We limit our exposure to futures contracts based on no more than 10% of the balance of the account. So each contract that we're trading of Nasdaq 100 futures requires $500 of margin. It's highly leverageable. So only $500 of margin per contract makes it very easy for most anybody to get involved in trading futures. In order for me to trade 3 contracts, that would be $1,500 of margin, which means if I'm going to limit my margin requirement to less than 10% of the balance of the account, I have to have $15,000 in the account. But I didn't start with 15,000, I started with 5,000. I can scroll back up here and show you that I started trading 1 contract, July 6th, the week of July 6th. You traded 1 contract. And then as the account grew, the personal trading plan is going to scale the number of contracts. It tells me on Thursday, the 16th of July, that it was time for me to trade 2 contracts if I want to follow my plan. I don't want to be emotional about my decisions. I want to follow a plan. So then I'm trading 2 contracts, and then here we go. On Friday, the week of July 20th, it scaled me up to 3 contracts. And you notice that that's all based on 10% of the balance of the account. And you notice that I've not scaled beyond 3 contracts. And that's because there's a second limiter in the plan. I can, as an individual trader, as an owner of my trading business, I can limit the total number of contracts that we will scale up to whatever I choose. And I have mine set at what I consider to be a very conservative level of 3 contracts. So the plan, once I get to 3, will never grow beyond 3. It'll never suggest that I grow beyond 3. But let me just show you what it's done for us now. We start with $5,000. We limit our margin exposure to no more than 10%, and I'm capping at 3 contracts. We know what our run rate is, and going forward, we are forecasting future performance to be identical to our current run rate. Now, that may change. If my run rate decreases in terms of profitable days, I have to adjust my forecast lower. If my run rate increases or decreases on the average losing days, I have to adjust my forecast. I adjust the forecast every single day, and I do it in a recorded end of day review at the end of our live trading room, and I make it available for any of you who are interested in looking at that. And I'll show you how to get access to that in just a few moments. So what's the end result? The forecast for 12 months, based on all of those factors, is a $332,545 income. Is that guaranteed? Absolutely not. It's based on all the factors I just explained to you. Our run rate may change. It may increase or decrease, more favorable or less favorable. I have to change my forecast then. I may decide I don't want to trade 3 contracts. I'm not comfortable trading 3 contracts, even though I have a really good understanding of my run rate. I may decrease it to 2 contracts, which means my income over the course of 12 months might only be $245,000. Okay, that's a really strong income, by the way, in my opinion, having started with $5,000. Is this a pie in the sky, too good to be true, can't believe it? No, not at all. What I'm sharing with you is what I consider to be very simply science and math. The adaptive entry system is the science. We have history based on 50 years of indicators that have a lot of integrity and a foundation of success that we have consolidated together to interpret what the market is doing. That's the science of interpreting the market. This is just math. This is just saying, listen, I'm averaging 34 points a day. By the way, the net of my winnings and losses, winning days and losing days, is an average of 22.7 points a day. Okay, so I know all this data. I know also that I'm done trading. I don't carry overnight futures trades, so I'm done trading at the end of every day. So the next day, whatever I'm trading is going to be recycling the same capital. So this growth of 5,000 to potentially over 300,000 is a result of the compounding of recycling the same capital and just very simply every single day plugging in my actual performance for that day. Now look at this, folks. Yesterday we did a net after commissions of 54.5 points. The day before we lost 21.4 points. We had a day back here where we lost 75 points. We have other days where we have strong 55-point wins, 121-point wins. So what the trading plan does, and this is my last comment about it, is it helps to even out those emotional swings, that emotional roller coaster that a lot of traders put themselves on. I want to win as much as I can every day, but I'm no longer focused primarily on today. I'm focused on what I can accomplish today, following the signals, and I don't attach any emotion to it. I just follow the signals and take the result at the end of the day, whatever it is, and I plug it into my trading plan. I adjust my forecast based on actual run rates, and I see what the income is. And let me just be a little ridiculous and absurd here for a minute. What if I was someone who said, well, you know what, $300,000, that's not enough. That's not at all what I would hope to make as a trader. Okay? You are in complete control of that. As long as my allocation to margin is limited by no more than 10% of the balance of the account, I can put in whatever number of contracts I choose. Maybe I'm willing to trade 30 contracts because I know that I won't get scaled up to 30 contracts until I have sufficient funds in the account that margin would be no more than 10% of the balance of the account. Well, all of a sudden I've dramatically influenced the potential income I have over the course of 12 months. Again, it's not guaranteed. It's going to be influenced by one day at a time, updating my plan to align specifically with my actual run rate, my actual averages. I think for demonstration purposes in our live trading room, 3 contracts is a really strong number, and it's up to each individual trader, each individual trading business owner to decide, what they want that to be. Some people may choose to trade 50 contracts. Some people may choose to trade 2 contracts. It really is an individual choice. But what we've created here is a tool that puts you in charge of your outcome. It's the adaptive entry system combined with knowledge, education, and support, and combined with a personal trading plan that will give you a business setup for success. That's what we're here to hopefully provide for you. So you choose what your 12-month income desire is, and then you build your trading plan to meet that goal. And then the last thing is we do, as I've been mentioning, our live trading room is real-time support. We have ongoing education in the real-time, in the live trading room. People come in, they're trading along with us. They might be in sim mode trading in futures, or they might be paper trading as options traders. They might be trading micros. They might be trading some other vehicle that we are not trading. That doesn't matter. We're there and available to answer questions as we can. You can follow along with our team of experienced traders as we identify and call out those trade signals in our trading room every day. It's going on right now. I've got 2 of my team members who are hosting our live trading room, and they're identifying performance of the adaptive entry system signals on the Nasdaq 100 futures. Now, it's not limited to just Nasdaq 100 futures. We could trade ES futures. We could trade RTY futures, our Russell 2000 futures. We could be trading options. But there is a capacity issue for us to be able to track and teach at the same time. So we've isolated most of our focus around the Nasdaq 100 futures, teach you how to use the system, and then you can use whatever method to take advantage of the system that you're most comfortable with. And we can certainly help you think about those types of choices. But you can follow along at the end of every day as we build and track the performance of the personal trading plan, which is what I just showed you. And the really cool thing about the live trading room is we have a great community of like-minded, profit-focused traders. And here's the thing that I particularly enjoy about the personal trading plan. Let's say you've built your personal trading plan and you have a goal to make 34 points today. And let's say it's, I don't know, 10:30 in the morning, which is an hour after the regular market session opens, and you find yourself up 40 points. You might want to stop for the day because the answer to the question, when is enough enough, has been answered for you. You've met or beat your goal for the day, and you know that by hitting that goal, you know what your potential income is over the course of 12 months. We have a lot of people who join our live trading room, and we open at 8:45 a.m. A lot of them are trading before we open. They come into the trading room and they will tell us, well, I've already met my goal for the day, so I'm going to go play golf, or I'm going to go boating, I'm going to go for a run, I'm going to go walk the dog, I'm going to do whatever they choose to do. And sometimes they'll come back later in the day, but they don't trade in live mode, they trade in simulation mode just to continue to develop and refine their skill set. But once they hit their goal in live trading mode, they are typically done and sharing with us that they're leaving for the day. So we love having our community of traders in the live trading room. But what's kind of comical to me is I see as the day progresses, the attendance is decreasing because we've gotten all these messages from people that I hit my goal for the day, so I'm done for the day, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. So that's what we love right there, is knowing that we have so many people who are meeting their goals. So bottom line here, folks, education, performance tracking, live trading, that's what the trading plan is all about. So, I'm sure you've all been to presentations about different methods in the trading arena. And this is typically where someone like myself would say, and you can participate and it's only going to cost you X. Well, I don't really want to charge you any money to get familiar with this whole process. And if that's something that interests you and you're interested in learning how to get started with your own personal trading business, I'd like to extend an invitation to you to join us free in the live trading room and see firsthand how we help our community of traders build a steady income from trading. Now, if that's something that does interest you, you can go to the link www.optionsmoneymaker.com/investor. There's no requirement of a credit card. There's no commitment from you. It really is my invitation to you to come in and say, I heard what you said, Mark. I want to see this work in real time. And we're going to show you, you're going to see all of the winning trades and all the losing trades. You're going to hear the commentary. You're going to hear questions from other traders, which we share in the room, and our responses. And you're going to learn a lot about how the adaptive entry system works and what our personal philosophy is about building a personal trading business. So if you do decide to use that link, www.optionsmoneymaker.com/investor, this is where you're going to come to, and you can see the link, the address up here. This is the page that you're going to end up on. So a couple of things. First of all, right here under step 1, this is where you can register for a week free in our live trading room. And observe the adaptive entry system. You get to ask questions. You can trade right along with our team. If you decide you want to trade, you can do so. And you're going to learn how we translate real-time trading performance into that 12-month income forecast at the end of every day. I mentioned the end of day daily updates. In step 2 here, if you click on this link, it's going to take you to those updates, and you can listen to as many of them as you want to. Typically, I do one every day. There are some exceptions, but if I miss a day, I actually update the following day, 2 days worth of performance, because our objective is to show you on a daily basis, hey, we won, we lost, and here's where that performance fits into the overall 12-month forecast. If you want to get ready for your free week in the live trading room, feel free to view the video here. It's actually the training that we've provided on the adaptive entry system. And then you get to supplement that training by participating in the live trading room with us. There's more information on this ready to start your trading business right here. You can click there. You can learn more about other products and services that we have. But this is basically where you would start. And this past week, I did a Q&A and recorded that, and you're welcome to listen in to that, because we talk a lot about the personal trading plan and the performance updates to the personal trading plan. So I'm happy to take questions. I'm going to leave this up here. Again, it's optionsmoneymaker.com/investor if this is of interest to you. Again, this is free. There's no obligation. There's no commitment. You can feel free to come in and out of the trading room for a week as much as you want. We are open from 8:45 a.m. Eastern to 4 p.m. Eastern. Sometimes we close a little early. Sometimes we look at around 3 o'clock if we have a really strong day that day. We're not really looking for more trades. We might close at 3 o'clock, but our plan is basically to be open 8:45 a.m. to 4 p.m. And you'll hear me in there along with Aaron and Michael. All right, so Greg is asking, is this a unique software? So Greg, the answer to your question is yes. The adaptive entry system is actually built on the TradingView platform. The reason we did that is because TradingView just has a plethora of underlying tools and inherent foundation that already existed. So in order for us to be able to develop the level of system that we wanted and not have to recreate a lot of stuff that already exists out there, we built the adaptive entry system proprietary method on the TradingView platform. So if it's something that you're interested in signing up for, you get instructions on how to access it. But you have to subscribe to the adaptive entry system in order to be able to load it onto a TradingView chart. All right, Sam is saying, here, let me make sure I'm looking at these in order here. Mohammed is saying, could I trade like 50 contracts or more if I use your signals or system? Yeah, so that's an individual choice. You trade as many contracts as you feel comfortable trading. I would trade in sim mode with whatever quantity of contracts you're choosing to trade, just to make sure that you feel confident in what you're doing and your understanding of it. But our system is designed to give you the entries, and then you decide what method to take advantage of it and what your capital commitment is. Sam's asking what happens on line 56 and 64 if your daily point risk is 25 points. Let me understand what you're asking here. Daily point risk is 25 points. Okay, that will be explained to you if you decide to enroll in the adaptive entry system. Um, this is not a number that, well, sorry, this is a number, this daily risk limit is set based on your own personal parameters. Right now, for the purposes of me trading, this is live, by the way, you asked, but I'm not paying attention to that. I'm just simply trading from um, the beginning of the trading day to the end of the trading day, all of the adaptive entry system signals. Yeah, you can trade micros, you can trade the E-minis. Should we start the trial on a Monday? I'd get yourself signed up and you'll have access through the end of next week. Do we have auto trading? Auto trading is actually something that we are in the process of collaborating with um, New Cycle Trading and Analytics on. And I think it's going to be a reality for us, but we have no time frame, no commitment to that yet. But we will certainly be letting everybody know. But we're kind of excited about the performance tracking. One of the things that I'll share with you here is we track the detail. I'll just show you as an example yesterday. We track the detail by every single trade on the Nasdaq 100. We know what the strategy is. We know whether it was a long or short. We know what the profit or loss was. We know what the drawdown was. I won't go through a lot of this in detail, but we track daily detail live in the trading room. So here's what that has allowed us to assess. If we traded every signal between 9:30 and noon, we know that for the first 76 trading days since we built this tracking tool, first 76 trading days, that's an average in that time frame of about $385 a day. That's an average of $385 a day. Now, 9:30 to noon, averaging that, there have been 18 losing days. And we know that overall, the win-loss ratio is just under 76%. So we've got all of this data that we've accumulated, which is really helping us to guide other traders. There's a category here that we have several people in our community that trade. It says 7 to 4, but they generally cut off before 4. But if you were to take all of the adaptive entry system signals between 7 a.m. Eastern and 4 p.m. Eastern, the average profit per day is just under $1,370. There have been 7 losing days in 76 trading days. And so we have a 73.7% win-loss ratio when we measure individual trades. This right here is the optimum performing category. Now, it doesn't work for everybody. Not everybody wants to trade those hours. So we have all this data accumulated, and then we have this field which is labeled researching. And we talk about this every day in the live trading room. We share all this information, and we can do evaluations for individual traders. And in this category, we can set whatever start time might be preferable for you and whatever end time might be preferable for you. Yesterday, somebody asked, well, what if I took all the signals plus fractals, which is a whole nother opportunity that is not directly part of the adaptive entry system, but it is something that we talk about every day in our live trading room. And so somebody asked me, well, I only have about 3 hours that I could trade, maybe from 10 to 1. These are all Eastern time frames. So we plug in 10 a.m. start time, 1 p.m., all signals, including fractals. And that shows that on an average, you're going to have winning and losing days, but on an average for the last 76 days, that's producing just under $600 a day. That's really strong, in my opinion. $600 a day, if you average that, remember, we're blending wins and losses, that's $12,000 a month on a 20 trading day month, trading just one contract. So that's a really strong number for somebody to say, I only have 3 hours a day and I could potentially make on that average, if my average was the same as that, I could potentially make $140,000 over the course of 12 months. So we provide this, not this particular spreadsheet, but we internally track all this data, detail, of every single trade. And we're also using it on some other time frames. Go back a couple of days and you'll see that we go back to actually 3 a.m. We're using some of this data to anticipate what we could possibly accomplish with auto trading. Jack is asking, I'm only interested in futures as live trading options or futures. In the live trading room, Jack, we are focused on futures, but there is a segment right at the beginning of the day from 8:45 to about 9 where Aaron does a pre-market review of our watch list of stocks. So we've got Amazon, Booking, Google, Tesla, Shopify, Netflix. So there's a method that at the open of the market day, we identify certain signals that traders can take as an options trade. And after that, the rest of the day really is primarily focused on the Nasdaq 100 futures. Let's see. Jack is asking, what's the return on investment from your having started trading NASDAQ with the adaptive entry system? Well, I think I just showed you that, Jack. It's not calculated as a percentage, but you can see here that the personal trading plan started with $5,000. The balance as of yesterday is $72,400, and that is through 12 and a half weeks. I think that's what you were asking. Jack's asking, could a person get in with less than $5,000 to start? So it depends on what broker that you're going to trade with. If you're talking about futures, we trade with Infinity Futures, which hands down we think is the best place to trade futures. Both the requirements to get started, the margin requirement, and the service, and then the platform, the dome that we use to trade on is outstanding. So Infinity Futures. There's a few questions about what's the cost after the first week. We have some things which we'll share with you towards the end of the first week. We provide some incentives to help you get started after you really learn the system. But I think the most important thing is that you learn the system and figure out for yourself what you could potentially turn this system into. I mean, I'm not saying everybody's going to do exactly what we have done here, but I will just ask you the question, what would be meaningful to you in terms of income? So forget about the 12 months. You know, what if we started in July and you want to see what your income could be at the end of December? There's potentially, following everything that we've talked about, potentially $159,000 by the end of December. So this yellow box up here, we put up here so that people can plan and say, I want to be able to take out, say, $5,000 for some expense or $10,000 to live on or whatever it might be. And we've got a field on the personal trading plan that allows you to add and withdraw funds so that you can actually use this as a full financial forecast for your business. You can insert the cost of participating in the live trading room, cost of the adaptive entry system software, and you're going to find that if you do a full 12-month planning, that it is a very lucrative business. The whole pricing for the adaptive entry system and the live trading room is such that we have consciously designed it with the intention of any trader being able to earn and cover completely their cost of participation in 1 to 2 trading days, trading just one contract. So a very limited amount of time. Doesn't require a big, you know, a number of days. And of course, there's a learning curve to get up to speed on that. Um, there's a question here, macros, about could I start with $1,000? You can in terms of trading. There may be requirements at whatever broker you set up an account with that might have a minimum initial deposit requirement. So if your broker has a minimum initial deposit requirement of say $3,000, well, you can still trade because one contract just requires $500 of that. So I would have a conversation with a broker. I would recommend anybody who's looking for a futures broker. Infinity Futures is outstanding, hands down. Oh, Perry, thank you for being here. Perry says, great presentation. Just joined the live trading room. Subscribe to Adaptive Entry System. Looking forward to helping along the way any way I can. That's fantastic, Perry. Thank you. So Perry is a great example, folks. Perry was in a prior presentation I did with an overview of this and invited him to come into the live trading room and observe and just make a decision on his own. There's no high pressure sales here at all. It's really a self-select. And he saw something that appealed to him, so he's now signed up. Paul, if you're talking about the tracking spreadsheet where I show the averages, the tracking spreadsheet is not available for our community yet. It's something that we are still working on building some automation, but we have all of the data in a format that is really helpful to us. If you're talking about the personal trading plan, yes, it is available. TJ is asking, do I use in the money options? Typically, when I'm trading options, I'm not using in the money, TJ. I'm using either out of the money options or at the money options. And that decision is largely going to be based on, well, what's the cost? What's the capital commitment? If I'm trading options on Amazon or on Tesla or on some other stock and the options are a little too expensive, I'm not going to start at a 50 delta. I'm going to go further out of the money and maybe even trade a 20 delta. I also have the option of using a spread. If I learn how to use spreads through the Profit Builder Plus program, then I can trade spreads using these same signals, and a spread will frequently give me a much lower capital commitment cost basis, allowing me to participate in that trade and not be prevented from trading just because it's so expensive. Oh, thanks, Perry. Perry's just saying the setup instructions are complete and easy to follow. Yeah, Erin on our team is largely responsible for the documentation, and she does a very, very good job with that. Marcos is asking, do we provide when to exit also? When we're trading the adaptive entry system in the live trading room on the Nasdaq 100, absolutely. We are sharing with you when we are exiting the trade. So it doesn't take very long to understand when to get out of the trade. We use certain predefined formats where we have a preset profit target, and if it hits our target, we're out of the trade automatically. We also have a way that we will convert the trade, the futures trade, from being a risk trade to a guaranteed no risk trade, and we talk about that throughout every single trade throughout the day in our live trading room. Yes, specific orders, not on options, trader, but not on options, but on futures. We're telling you that we are long or short at this price level. We're telling you that we're looking to possibly to lock in a certain number of points of profit at this particular price level. So yes, we are pretty good, I think, at articulating the development of the trade. Well, then, Mohammed, I think that you should come into the trading room and see what it's all about and see whether or not it would work for you. TJ's asking, do we think about scalping? So in futures, we will scalp. And what I mean by that is if we have, say, a 10-point profit target on NQ, 10 points on one contract would be $200. If I have an opportunity in a fairly choppy market to lock in 5 points and scalp 5, I might do that. But the way we do it is I may adjust my risk from actual risk to no risk at all by locking in 5 points. We do that frequently throughout the day. And if it keeps going to the 10-point profit target, great. If it doesn't and takes me out at 5, well, then I took 5 points. I scalped 5 points out of that. We do. Do we send alerts on any other platforms, or do you have to be in the room? We don't actually alert anything. We discuss the signals in the live trading room, but being in the live trading room is not a requirement. It is, I think, a benefit to be in the live trading room, but you can subscribe to the adaptive entry system software and just once you've learned it, trade it on your own. We always encourage people to join the live trading room because we're providing ongoing support for it every day, all day long. Do you also show in details in the video how to put order with stop loss and target with Infinity Futures? Yes, there is video instruction that we provide in the futures training and education, and also you can learn quite a bit of that by just trading on a simulated dome. Minimum capital requirement is going to mostly be based on what the requirement is at your broker. If you're going to set up an account to trade futures, you need to shop around a little bit. And again, I invite you to go shop around and talk with Infinity Futures. Here's one big difference. When we're trading the Nasdaq 100 futures, I, in my account at Infinity, only need $500 per contract. $500 per contract. There are other brokers out there that currently, for the exact same trade, require $17,000 or more per contract. Well, I'm not going to do that because it limits my scalability. It limits my ability to, on my personal trading plan, grow from one contract to two contracts to three contracts. My three contracts is only going to be $1,500. Three contracts at that other broker at $17,000 per contract is going to be $51,000. I think that that's insane. So combination of the margin, the service, and the ease of the platform to be used is why we use Infinity Futures. On our futures trading, we are flat at the end of every day. We do not carry overnight. The margin increases substantially for overnight holds. The adaptive entry system is not free when you join the live trading room. You can observe us using it. We actually show the system on a chart that you'll be able to see when you are in the live trading room. But if you decide to subscribe to it yourself, it is not included with a subscription to the live trading room. How long is the average learning curve? I would say if you devote about a month to really immersing yourself in following the trades and you do it in sim mode, you should be able to do very well after that. If you're interested in trading futures. Yeah, so the system also applies to stocks. The way I would use it on a stock is I see a signal to go long and I'm going to buy the stock. When I see a signal to go short, if I haven't already exited out for a profit of that stock, then I would take the stock off because the signal has reversed on that stock. So you can use it for stocks also. A trader is asking, does the system work on Thinkorswim platform? The system is built on the TradingView platform, and so it's not yet available on other platforms, something that we're in discussions about. You'd have to ask your broker whether or not you could trade your IRA. I'm not providing specifics of what you can trade in each account or tax implications or any of that. All I'm doing is telling you, here's a set of signals. That's the science of trading. Here is a tool that is just based on math that will help you understand what you could accomplish, what you could achieve over the course of 12 months. Okay, I think we're just about done with questions. Just want to scan here and make sure that I didn't miss any. TJ says, I assume to scalp 5 points, you're trading 2 contracts. No, whatever the number of contracts is, I think you're thinking of if we took one contract off and let the other one ride. No, we're just taking the contracts off. We're locking in a no risk trade at 5 points. All right, folks, I sincerely appreciate you being here. That's all the questions that I see out here. Appreciate your interest, and please take me up on my offer. Go to optionsmoneymaker.com/investor, sign up for a week free in the live trading room, and see whether or not this method is right for you. There's a bunch of information that you can take advantage of prior to even participating in the live trading room. There's the Q&A recording from last Wednesday, which we focused on this whole topic. Here's your registration link for the live trading room, and you can listen to the daily updates. Go back and listen to what we've updated on winning days, losing days, and how we're explaining the adjustment of the forecast. And then if you want to take advantage of the training video prior to participating in the live trading room, feel free. So thank you so much for being here. You guys are awesome. And thanks to Anna for setting this up.